Hi, this is Randy Randall of No Age and host of the podcast Hyphenate with Randy Randall. I want to welcome our newest sponsor of the show, DistroKid. DistroKid helps musicians get their music on all the major streaming platforms, and artists keep 100% of their royalties. Hyphenate listeners get 30% off at distrokid.com/VIP/hyphenate. Again, that's distrokid.com/VIP/HYPHENATE. Go get your music streaming everywhere now. What's up, party people? Aaron Farley in the house. You're listening to Hyphenate Halftime with me, Randy Randall, and my good friend Aaron Farley. How you doing, buddy?
Yes, I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Good. I'm excited to talk all things Silas Hite. What did you think of the interview?
Yeah, I thought it was cool, man. I first wanted to comment for all the listeners that you have beautiful slicked back hair right now. So
Yes.
if your voice sounds different and more engaging and
it's
more
the hair.
milky, it is the hair. It's all in the hair.
It's the five head. Going from it's all the energy is radiating from my dolphin like hairline that is going.
Both
backwards.
of us usually look like we are like literally just rolled out of bed and went, wait, what? We're podcast. Oh God, hold on, give me like 3 minutes.
When the reality is
coffee.
Yeah. But the reality is we've been up for like 6 hours dealing with children barfing and getting ready and science experiments that are trying to fit into a car and like, oh, I forgot, right. You got to sign this permission slip. We're going on a field trip today. Like, why did I not know this?
Well, you're still in that realm. I'm in the realm where I'm just trying to get the kids to engage with me. I'm trying to be more interesting than their phones.
How is that going for you?
Hard. Turns out there's a whole team of millionaires and billionaires who have figured out how to make kids' phones much more appealing than their parents.
I don't think it's that hard to do, actually, now that you say it like that. I don't think it costs that much money to do that. I think you could literally put paint drawing on the phone and to a teenager, that is far more interesting than whatever their parents have to say.
Well, it costs millions of dollars to figure that out.
Yes. That should be
hundreds of billions.
That should be the Hyphenate app we do. Just the how to appeal to teens, like paint drying. Like, what? This slaps. No cap. Bet.
No cap. This is sick.
Have you checked out the drip on the paint drying app? So drippy.
So drippy. What are you up to? I don't know. What are you up to? I don't know. What are you up to? I don't know.
We're starting to get a taste of that. My oldest has turned 10 in the foreseeing in the past couple of weeks, and he's got the boys who call him on Facebook Messenger app now. Him and his two other 10-year-old friends. The boys are calling. It's the boys. Hold on, I got to talk to them.
Do they have a name for their group yet?
Not yet. The boys? So far it's the boys. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But said in a very kind of menacing fashion. The boys. It's just the boys calling.
Yeah. That's amazing.
I'm starting to get a shape of to see the shape of things to come.
Yeah.
In my not so distant future.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough because it is funny that I mean, it's weird because our kids were fully right in the middle of the pandemic, in between grade school, like end of grade school to middle school.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had that 2 years where they have those like digital relationships.
Oh.
And then after that, so then they still talk to a lot of their friends and stuff, but it was all online. And then
and you couldn't do shit about it. You had to just be like, all right, I guess that's
the
world
at that
we live
point
in now.
you
like,
yeah,
you don't want to tell them to get off the iPad.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And you're happy. You're like, you're just talking to your cousins and your friends and da-da-da-da. And then once everything opened up and whatever, a couple of years ago, and they're like, oh, why don't you go over to your friend's house? Like, no, I'm talking to him right now.
Yeah.
And they just but they're like having full on, whatever, maybe playing video games, but maybe like one of them's playing video games. They'll just have their phones on in their room like pointed towards, like the video pointed towards the ceiling. So you just see like a
It's just
bunch
a
of
phone call.
ceilings.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch
Oh,
of
that's fun.
ceilings on the iPad, but they're all just chatting, but maybe they're not even talking. They're just like doing other stuff.
They're just
So
hanging
we've
out.
had, yeah,
Wow.
so we've had to make the rule too. That's like when you have the iPad on in your room, you have to tell us.
Oh, so you
Because
don't
you
come
can hear
barging in and
everybody's
be like,
house. You can also
oh,
hear conversations in everyone's houses, and I'm like, listen, man,
whoa.
we don't need ops in our family.
Well,
We
this
don't,
definitely
we don't
feels
need
like some.
everybody to know what we're talking about in
Yeah,
here.
this
Come on.
seems like a Hitchcock, or some kind of like
Totally.
setup for a thriller where like we heard something happen in the house next door. Like you
Oh
literally
yeah,
have ears in the neighbor's house. You don't have to peer through the window anymore. You
yeah.
literally
But like,
you can
which
look at the
house was it?
ceiling, which
And you don't
that's
know.
it, right?
You
You
don't
don't
even know
know.
which house it was.
You just
And then
see
everyone's iPads slowly go black.
some blood splatter on the ceiling. You're like, wait, what was that? What's that thing on the ceiling? Why is that there?
Oh my god.
Dun dun dun. Oh
Dun, dun,
man.
dun.
We're
Yeah,
we're in
it's
we're in
funny.
for it now. That's amazing. I mean, I think we would all do the same thing. I love talking shit about children, but I know if we were in the same place, it was just we grew.
Oh yeah,
The drive for being social to us meant getting on bikes and going over to someone's house and just like rolling around on their shag carpet and
yeah.
do the same thing, just
We're
smearing
playing Nintendo all day
Dorito
long.
dust. Yeah, Dorito dust on their fingers into the Nintendo controllers and
Yeah.
bologna sandwiches and
Well, and
yeah.
everyone had their friend whose parents either were working or their parents would just let them play video games all day. So then everybody would figure out
To
the
go
way
to that house.
to get, like, okay, well, let's figure out a way for all of us to get to their house so then we can just play Nintendo all day.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That's definitely.
Yeah.
And you also can't, like, you can't blame the kids. They didn't create they didn't create phones and technology and everything. You
No.
gotta blame
And,
us.
but look at
Actually,
us.
yeah,
Yeah.
I blame
We're
the generation
so,
before us, actually.
oh, please. Yeah,
We're
that's
fine.
great. Sure,
Yeah.
that's fine. Nothing's our fault.
Yeah.
But but look at this too. Like look at it. We're hanging out online. This is a digital thing. And look at everybody. At home, the millions of listeners we have at their homes and jobs and on their commutes.
That is
We're all just
perfect.
kind of checking in a digital sort of like. I was thinking. I think I talked about this. I don't know if it was in this episode or one of the other ones, but it's the sort of the third space, right? Like those Starbucks kind of put a fine point on it, but it's not work and it's not home, but somewhere in between. And I feel like there's a digital third space that not only we occupy, but I think the kids are sort of defining for themselves. Where it used to be the malt shop
Definitely.
or the video arcade, or there was a physical space, or even like our parents' generation, or even their parents, our grandparents, the bowling alley, the bar,
Mm-hmm.
the whatever, those church bingo nights, the things like there was that kind of social space. And I think that it's just the reality is our social space is digital now.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where we scratch that itch for talking to other human beings, which I think everybody has to do, right?
Yeah.
The fucked up part that I heard, where I forget where the was from, it wasn't my idea, but I read it. But they were saying that some of the younger musicians through the pandemic, it took the focus, it took the pressure off of live performances, and it was all about garnering likes and follows and subscribers. It was about really kind of growing your digital footprint, and that became everything. And that's and we're sort of now, I think it changed the world in terms of putting the metrics on that, which I think was going that way anyway. But with the pandemic in place, the idea of being a live performer really just got taken off the table and may not ever return for some people. You know what I mean? That being a musician you can really just exist online and just create content for your followers online, and that sort of shifts the focus away from a live performer.
Yeah, I wonder how that will. Oh, sorry, my dog is gonna come here. Olive, come here. Yeah, she's like, you closed the door. I can't get out. That I think it will be interesting to see whether it's just like a couple year shift, because how the one generation's like, oh, we're not going to play live anymore, and then the next like 2 years later they're like, all these old people never want to play live, so we're going to only play live. We're not even going to have a digital footprint.
Like, Dad, you wouldn't believe I saw this guy and had a microphone, and it was like amazing. It was so loud and like a full body, physical, tactile experience. It was incredible.
Yeah. Well, and again, because our friend's son who's in a band called One Way Mirror. They're doing these house parties,
Shout
and
out.
it's like 250 kids show up at these house parties, and they're like 15. So
Amazing.
there's also that other side of things, that there are a ton of like, and they've been playing with, it's like coming through, and bands playing in New York, and they're playing in Pomona, and they're playing, so there
Wow.
is also
Yeah.
that going on. But I think that, I mean, it's
Maybe.
interesting because there's just no, the if you're in the industry part where you actually have to make money and have a label and all of that, that the ways for them to actually support a staff, I don't know how. I mean, how do you
Where's the
even
money?
make money?
Right.
Because you
Yeah.
used to just, I mean, the money was on marking up plastic
Right.
before. So it was like you could make something for $1 and sell it for $15. And so the markup is massive, and everybody can get paid from those percentages of that. But now there's no markup on anything. You
Right.
can't, there's nothing to mark up anymore. Like tickets, I guess you can mark up
Yeah.
because the venue's selling alcohol and
T-shirts and whatnot.
t-shirts and stuff like that. But there's
Yeah.
like, I feel like a business only exists if you can have a nice, healthy markup on something.
It's true. Right. Yeah. It makes sense. But I just the sense I'm getting is that it's so much effort or attention is just being paid to promoting the thing. And like, well, what are you
Right.
promoting? Well, I'm
Right.
promoting the stream. Well, what does the stream do? The stream promotes the other thing. It's a
Yeah.
little bit
Right.
of a promoting the promotion, the promoting the, everything's just promoting everything. But exactly, if you're not going to play live, if you're not getting butts and seats, then
Yeah.
what is it all? When do you ever catch your tail, or when is there?
Yeah.
And I guess that's
Well,
not what it's about. If you're having fun, it's the same sort of way. Like, I loved making zines and stickers and bullshit. And there was no money in it. Again, I guess there
yeah.
was the form of just kind of promoting things, or but having fun. But there's some, and I guess there's a sense
There's
of
a way of
expression. But
building a
yeah,
community. I mean, I
yeah,
guess like communities always find some way to like support the arts in some way, whether those artists can do it as a full-time job or minimal pay, do
yeah,
something else, and that's the thing you do for fun. I mean, I think
yeah.
I think too that I don't know even where I heard this conversation, but it was on something, I don't know, podcast or something. But that someone was talking about the NBA and saying, talking about the social media stuff, and like how a lot of the NBA players have to do a ton of social media for whatever, for the team
Oh,
and for
oh,
their sponsors
always, yeah,
and they were like, well, are you worried about them getting burned out and not being able to play as well or whatever? And they're like, no, it's not our concern. We'd rather have the social media part and the engagement than like the game. Not that the game is secondary, but the game is like, it's up there with the importance within the
wow,
structure of the business, which
wow,
is funny, right? Or like you get you're there to play basketball, but really, I mean, you're selling a product. So as long as
yeah.
you play basketball just well enough, then
You
it's
getting
really
eyeballs.
the outdoor
Well,
sale.
because
Like we'd
yeah,
rather have you sell your jerseys because you're important, or I mean, because you're popular, than
oh my god.
necessarily how well you play basketball.
It's a head fuck. That's a head fuck. Yeah,
Yep.
you can't really. Yeah, but I feel like yeah, it's gonna be an ongoing developing kind of thing, to the point where it'll get to a place where like, oh, I don't get it. I just don't get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I talk to my mom sometimes. It's just like, the conversation's beyond me. It doesn't matter. I'm like, yeah, I guess
Yeah.
it happens to all of us. We're all going that way.
It's all fun and games.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I guess this brings up the one of the things that I liked about the interview
Oh
was
yeah.
when he was talking about having these jobs for clients and everything, but how important it is to carve out time for yourself to still do the creative thing for yourself. Like if you're a musician, to still make songs for yourself or play with the gear that you like and whatever that isn't client based, to kind of remember why you're doing it and it maybe cleanse your palate a little bit so you can go back and work with clients and not feel like I never get to do what I want to do and all that kind of stuff, which I've
Yeah,
been there with photography for years
totally.
and years of being like, although I feel like I kind of went the other way. I was like, I would get enough work to like take 3 weeks off and
And the last thing you want to do
spend all my
is
money
take more
making
photos.
something. Yeah,
Yeah,
spend all my money making something that nobody is going to see, and then
right.
coming back and going like, ugh, okay, I got to do this again.
Oh,
Till eventually all the
yeah.
clients go away.
Yeah, yeah. Well, then you get your wish. You're like, I wish I just could
Yeah,
have all unlimited time
all
to just
this
do
free
whatever
time.
I wanted to do. Like, oh shit, this is too much free time. I don't have any money.
Turns out I only have free time now.
Yeah. Ugh. It's yeah, it's so tough. I think Silas was totally inspiring. Hearing his story, it was really, one of those things of like, just coming out of the desert. Like where he grew up sounded really rural, and really
Oh,
like something
crazy.
like even more rural than you would expect in that kind of
Yeah,
area, like a one room schoolhouse kind of thing. And
yeah.
like, yeah,
Potentially only one person in your grade.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
And then
that's
one
insane.
school book, you get this with
Yeah,
the one book, and then landing in Hollywood, literally on Sunset Strip, but working in a spaceship,
yeah,
on the Sunset Strip next to the House of Blues.
yeah.
From
Couldn't be more opposite.
yeah,
Yeah. No, I know it. And it reminded me of that uh, job I was on, and we went to the Isle of Egg, which is this
oh
little
yeah,
tiny island outside of Scotland, and there's like 140 people that live on this island, and there were 3 kids on the island, and they had a teacher. I don't even remember the age of the kids. It was like a second grader, a sixth grader, and and I don't know, maybe one older kid. I don't know, but it was interesting. Can you just hear my dog
oh of course,
my
yeah, yeah.
dog barking? Okay,
Is he
hold on.
inside or outside? Was he trying to get out?
Hold on. No,
Okay.
she's just fighting with the cat, and they wrestle, and then she
Oh, I
barks
see.
at the
I
cat all day.
see.
Um,
She's heard the Isle of Egg story before. She's like, come on.
yeah, she's like, oh god, just let me out. This is boring. But I remember like, God, it must be so boring for those kids. And like, no, those kids just hang out with adults, and they become like, they have conversations with adults, and it's fine.
That's wild.
And then, yeah,
Did they have a different Scottish accent up there? An egg? Was it
oh, it
like
was
because it's so
crazy.
removed?
I mean, the whole Scottish accent anyway was pretty jarring in the sense of like, oh yeah, I'll be able to figure it out. And then it took a couple days, definitely of like trying to read lips and going like, I don't know what is happening, and then got a little bit of the, I don't know what it is. The inflection is just really intense. But yeah,
That's
um,
amazing.
yeah, it was pretty heavy. It was fun though.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, could you imagine someone from the Isle of Egg landing in, Brooklyn or something, it'd be the same kind of idea. Like
Totally.
but yeah, it sounded like he kind of hit the ground running though, doing odd jobs, making coffee, sweeping floors, to then eventually getting his hand on instruments.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me that his story was inspiring because I think everybody thinks that you just um, like you're just going to do the thing that you want to do. Like, well, even
Mm.
if I can't get that, I got to go do something else, instead of going, no, here I have access. I mean, luckily, I guess he had access from his uncle, but also it's like everybody can kind of start that way, like, no, you're just getting, sure, he got in the door, but he's like, yeah, I was delivering coffee for 6 months and sweeping
Yeah.
the floors. And it's kind of like, I mean, it was actually similar oh my God, it was the last Melvin's,
Oh, Toshi.
was it
Yeah,
Toshi?
exactly.
It
Yeah,
was
yeah, just
super
getting in.
similar to Toshi, right? Like he went to school and he was learning about uh, being an engineer, and then just went to a bunch of places and was like, I want to learn how to be an engineer. And then he found the place that would hire him to do all the grunt work, to do all the
Yeah.
stuff that nobody wanted to do, and for no pay, and to just learn to be an intern. And I think that is, unfortunately, it's really difficult if you aren't able to pay for a place to live and you need money and all of those kind of things to be an intern for free. But it can be the most, I mean, if you can show yourself that you're useful. Like, how are you useful to people? Like if you're going to go somewhere, like you definitely have to be useful and figure out where you fit in. And then people will keep you around if you're useful, I
Totally.
think
Well, and
that's
I
the
think it
simple part.
and it also is just great for the new person, for the intern, just to kind of get a feel for the environment, or for the for what is this job really entail,
Right.
because it's hard to know. You think you want to do something, and then you spend more than 5 minutes in a room with people that are doing that, and whether, like, oh, this is awesome, or no, I want
Yeah.
no part of this
Like,
whatsoever. That's
I know.
invaluable to know as a
No,
young person
totally.
trying to figure out
100%.
what kind of industry you want to be in. Maybe and it could be the thing, like, I love this idea, this genre, this space, but not this company. These people are terrible, but I'm going to
Right.
do this somewhere else. Or you just learn that the whole thing is just mind-numbingly boring, and you can't stick with it at all.
Yeah.
But
And you
either
end up
way,
meeting so many people. I think that that's the interesting part. Like even when I first moved to LA, and my friend Sippy, who we all
oh
know,
yeah.
was a PA, and I'm like, "What's a PA?" And he's like, "Okay, I'm going to hire you for whatever it was, a music video or something."
Mhm.
And you get on the set, and you're like, "Oh wow, this is crazy. What is happening? What
Yeah.
is this?" And then, like, go get the coffee. Here, take the keys to the truck and go get 10 rolls of toilet paper. We need that. And you're just running
Yeah.
errands. But
Just
then you
ice,
realize, like,
water. Yeah.
yeah, but then even after a month, I mean, maybe I worked, I don't know, that month, I don't know, 10 days or something. But even after that, you meet so many people, and you're like, oh, I think I want to do props. Props seems fun. How do I do props? Oh, go talk to that guy and see if they have a PA for props and
Right.
coming up or whatever. And then you realize if you're interested, that seems fun. And eventually I got to a point where I was like, yeah, this is not what I want to do. It's like
Yeah.
whatever it was, but it was like, it would be horrible to have gone to school
Oh
for
my God. Right. Film
years to
school.
learn how to do
Yeah.
something. Totally. Learn how to do something. And then you actually get into the work environment and go, oh, this is not what they told me it was going to be like. So I think that like, um, getting that kind of work experience.
It's hands-on,
And
boots on the ground. Like, really, you're really in it. You're really working on
yeah,
the film, or on a commercial, or on a music video, and you get
yeah,
to see the unglamorous side of it. But
yeah,
that's 90% of what it all is. You know what I mean? You're mostly just work is work, no matter no
yeah,
matter what industry that is.
totally.
Even if it's up behind a camera, you think like, oh, this is going to be all so glamorous. It's mostly not. I
Yeah.
I had this I don't know if we ever talked about it, but I had an internship at Digital Domain, which was James Cameron's um, special effects, like digital
Oh
special
wow.
effects house in Venice. Well, in high school, it was like the summer between my junior and senior year of high school, and I'd taken a film class at Art Center in school design in Pasadena, and the guy that taught the film class was a motion control camera operator there at Digital Domain, and they had just done Titanic, and we'd
Yeah,
gone down there and we saw they worked for months putting bubbles on rotors of the Titanic, these kinds of things. You're like, wow, okay, and this is cutting edge, and everyone was so
yeah,
excited, and I think they won an Oscar for it, and it was a big deal, and so I was fairly excited about film, and pretty rabid about all of that stuff, and so I asked if I could get an internship there. So I would drive from my small town in the Inland Empire out to Venice Beach. I don't know what it was, 2 or 3 times a week, and just, again, yeah, kind of a grunt, just whatever they needed, more water, more this, sweep this, paint that. I remember I painted a big green screen, like that
mm-hmm.
green screen paint smells terrible,
Yep,
but they were doing model work, and so, because it wasn't just digital stuff, they would do models and comping, and all these different special effects. It was like ILM, but for James Cameron stuff. But they were doing this movie with James Spader and Angela Bassett, where it was like a hospital in space. I don't know, it's like Supernova or something, some blink and you miss it kind of sci-fi movie. But everybody, there was hundreds of people working really seriously, and it was like high stakes, live or die kind of things. They blew up a thing one day in the parking lot. I remember it was they built this huge model and then blew it up, and they only had the one chance to do it. And I think I got a sense of just being around that sort of environment, just talking to the guys and going to lunch or doing this or that. And as a young kid, it was that feeling of like one, yeah, I knew I did not need to go to film school, because everybody
Yeah.
there that was doing these things and getting paid, nobody went to school for it. They were all sons or cousins or nephews, or somebodies of somebody's.
Yep.
And so it was the best thing you could be was be related to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
The second best thing you could do um, is just start young and just start doing it. So I felt like I was like, okay, well, I'm starting young, but then again, just the intensity that people talked about these horribly mundane, boring things like lenses and shutter speeds and types of paint and types of glue and types of processing speeds of computers, like just the minutia of it all, and everybody was really, really passionate about it. And I just couldn't. I just kept having the feeling of like I'm not getting it. Like I like the
Yeah.
big picture stuff. I like the whole movie is cool. Like that movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger is cool. And it's like, oh yeah, 99.9% of the rest of, Hollywood has nothing to do with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger has probably about, 50 people that work for him. And there's, another, whatever, 50,000 people that make that movie that he's on.
Yeah. It's like a really technical construction site.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. Somewhere between
that,
like a laboratory kind of setting and a construction site. Yeah.
Yeah. And like I grew up working construction a little bit. I mean, again, I was sweeping floors and I was not building anything.
Same. Yeah. My dad was an electrician. So I was picking up strips of wire, the nubs of the wires that he cut off. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's funny because I was a laborer for union electricians for 2 summers. So there you go. We have that. But and so then when I got to LA and got on a site, I was like, oh, this is like, it's just a construction site. It's super blue collar, which is funny why everybody talks about Hollywood being like this big liberal, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, have you ever been on a movie?
There's more Ford F-150s on a movie set than anywhere else.
It's way
Starbucks.
Crazier than anything. Yeah. But then that's what I thought. And which is interesting too, because even when I started shooting a lot of stuff for bigger galleries, art galleries, and like big blue chip, blah, blah, blah. And I would shoot some of their installs. Same thing. It's like construction site. You're just on a construction site. There's forklifts. There's people that are moving pallets and crates and they're, all of these things. And you have this like whole blue collar setup to build something that is not for blue collar people. Right. Mm-hmm. Which is like it's like watching construction of some mansion, and it's all a bunch of dudes who will never be able to afford a mansion, but they know how to build a mansion perfectly, and they know how to build if you give them all of the tools and the best of everything, they will build the most beautiful thing ever, and then they'll go home to their little 2 or 3 bedroom house. And then it's for someone else to live in this mansion. Like I feel like that's what the movie industry is, and it's like what the art industry. That's what like every industry. It's like you have these people who know how to build it and put this beautiful face on it, but like the bones are actually built by all of the workers who never talk about it, and then the people who all talk about it are the people who could never build it.
Oh yeah.
And I thought that was interesting. I'm like, oh, it's all just like a construction site. Everything is just a big construction site with like fancier and fancier equipment.
Yeah, I think the thing that got me too, I think was just, there was some kind of like inner turmoil. I feel like everybody that worked at that shop wanted to be doing something else. I feel like everybody was doing the thing where they were here, but they used to be somewhere else, and now they're here. They didn't like it that, or they're trying to go from here to somewhere else. They don't like being here, but they got to be somewhere else. And it just sort of seemed like everybody was, and then even the uproar, you would see James Cameron or you'd see some big producer or somebody, and they look pissed and they didn't look happy.
Everyone's
like,
angry.
No, nobody's happy here. Nobody's, it was a very kind of like, just under duress and every, what I mean? Like, isn't anybody doing what they want to be doing? Like, no, that's not how it works. Everyone wants to be doing someone else's job.
Yeah.
And they're all pissed that they have to work for that guy because he doesn't know how to do that job and they could do that job.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just life. That was just the general that's the general tone of adults.
It's like
employment, but
the 10%. Yeah, they're like the 10% of adults that are actually legitimately happy. And then it's like when you go into like a Waffle House and there's the one person there that's just like, no, this is exactly where I want to be.
This is it. This is the
I'm
gig.
the cashier at Waffle House. I've always wanted to be the cashier at Waffle House. I'm happy being and I'm like the happiest person you'll ever meet. You're like,
Yeah.
well, that's 1 out of 10.
Yeah, my wife has an uncle who's a forklift operator in Erie, Pennsylvania, and he
Yeah.
loves it.
Yeah.
And it's great. And he doesn't have kids, doesn't have a wife, house is paid for.
Goes
He just
on
keeps putting
vacation
money in the
probably.
bank. Yeah. Oh yeah. I think he has
Has
a
a boat.
healthy.
Does he have a boat?
Doesn't have a boat. No,
Oh.
but I think he's got a healthy weed, consumption going on, and he's probably in his 60s now.
It's just chilling.
It's just he could retire, I think, but I think he just enjoys it. I think he likes what he's doing.
Why retire when you're just doing what you love?
That's it. Yeah. He found the job he loves.
Yeah.
But I know it's a funny one. Yeah, Hollywood. I feel like there's definitely it's a whole shit show, and it just kind of keeps going.
I mean, think about what like everything. I mean, there's so much of this town is built on that production of entertainment, but that production side is where all the money goes. It's like like if you owned a studio in Hollywood and you're booked out every day, I mean, you're making more money than almost everybody. It's like you own a studio that has 6 studios in it and they're all booked out for the year. That's where the money's at.
Yeah.
It's like you don't want to make the toy, you want to make the batteries that go in all the toys. It's
so
like,
no matter which studio's up or down or who's going which way,
no matter what the new music, no matter what who's doing what, they're like, no, we just own the place that everybody has to do the thing. So it doesn't matter what the thing is. We just have the spot that, or, you're the engineer. Like, well, I don't care what I'm recording. I'm an engineer. So if you come in and you're like vocals, I'll do vocals. If you need to bash some trash cans together, I put the right mics to bash trash cans together. Exactly. I feel like those are the secret jobs in this town that are like, we're like, yeah, shh, don't tell anybody. I got it. It doesn't matter. I don't want to be creative. Yeah. I'm like the person that helps people be creative so I can go on vacation.
Yeah. I don't have to worry about the opening box office. No. I already got paid. I got paid before they ever got butts and seats.
I don't have to book shows. I don't have to care what's cool.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think that's the thing too of it. I think that's where Hollywood gets goofy. When it's like, oh, this is the so and so just entered the room, or so and so's here, and you're just like, I can't keep up with it. I don't know. But you're right. But there's a certain amount of Kool-Aid I think you have to drink just to have, because it's so much of a pecking order. Like first on the call sheet, or who's this is the directors, this is the producers, and you gotta pretend to doff your cap and respect all these people that you just probably never heard of.
It's amazing when you get to that first place where you're talking to someone and then someone's like, yeah, don't you you're a PA, you can't talk to that guy.
Right. Like, yeah.
Oh, what do you mean?
Like, it's 10 times worse than high school because you get paid for this. God, like you're sitting at the wrong table. This is the cool kids table. You got to be over there with the not cool kids.
If you say the wrong word and that person walks off set, we all just lost $4 million. Oh, yeah, that's a lot of money. Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Don't look at that person. Don't sneeze. Don't. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the part that I just think, at the end of the day, like, who gives a fuck? Because then that same person that everyone's walking on eggshells around in 2 weeks could be, never hear from them again. They do something, they shoot themselves in the foot, or just the star system. They're built up to then just be torn down.
Yeah,
and so whatever, everyone, you go from being, the golden goose to then the, to the nothing. If that person's on your set, it means the movie's gonna be bad, when they used to mean your movie's gonna make $1 million just to show up. Or that's where it just really just like, this is not a mature place to be. Or so there's far too much just fairy dust or pixie dust or something here to be like, for this to make any sense. Like, how does this work? If that person used to make you all your money and now all they do is lose money. Like, okay,
who knows? Well, have you ever been in a place that was mature?
No, Probably not, right? I think that's the other illusion. Yeah.
The illusion is that adults like that. There's this place that was like, no. There's this place that we all know how to act, and we're all like, everybody's really responsible and super like kind to each other. And I don't think that those. I think that's the biggest illusion that
Right.
there is actually this place exists.
Yeah, the most you go into a room with with it's all adults, and you realize they're all just they're all just doing their best to still act like their 10-year-old version of themselves.
Oh, of course.
That's it. That's just
10 is being kind, I think.
Right. Yeah. You're putting it more at 4, 3.
Yeah. The amount of times that I've wanted to say something to somebody and gone like, that's like a very 5th grade response of me, but I feel like it's accurate.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh my God. Cool, man. Well, yeah, holidays are upon us. I know. I was trying to think of like, do we need segments for the halftime show? I hear other podcasts and they have segments. Like, should we start to brainstorm segments? What would a segment be? I can't even figure it out. We're pretty good at shooting the shit and getting through stuff. I don't hear from anybody. I would love for somebody to write in and say like, hey, you guys don't talk enough about the episode before, or you talk too much about it, or anything.
I get some thumbs up here and there when I post.
Oh,
stuff.
Nice. Yeah,
just a couple like. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know if that means like good job for having a podcast, or it means I listened to it, or I don't know.
Just hey, you did something. You made content. I'm responding. It counts as engagement.
Yeah, the good thing is it lives forever. So you can listen. You can listen.
We should be so lucky it'll live forever. It'll probably go on a hard drive somewhere in ruinous media, and then it'll get dropped and be gone forever. I think more likely.
Never. It will exist forever.
So I think I showed you. Let's see, where's the camera here? I know this is a auditory thing, but I made these fun holographic stickers. I'm trying to figure out like the sticker guy. Shout out to stickerguy.com has had a sale on holographic stickers this year or this last month. So I did a hyphenate one in general, and then a hyphenate halftime. Is it backwards? Is it written reverse for you? No, you can see it correctly.
It's flipped around. That's awesome. I need to finally come into town and get one.
I know. I can mail you up an envelope of them. But again, that's good. Then you're just gonna have a stack of stickers sitting on your desk rather than sitting on my desk. I realize they're more fun to make than I don't know what to do. I've been leaving them if I play a show or go out anywhere. If I go to get coffee somewhere, I'll just bring a stack of them and leave them on the table. Hope they don't get thrown away.
That's the best part of stickers is making them.
Yeah,
it's like T-shirts. Yeah. It's like band T-shirts. So you always want to make a band T-shirt.
Yeah,
whether people want to buy them or not is inconsequential.
Yeah. Well, if you want to make the next one, if you want to make the next round of stickers, I think we should just continue we'll flood the 2 blocks in Highland Park where I go to get coffee with dumb stickers.
We'll have more stickers than listeners.
The dream will come true. Can that be the next? That should be the next shirt or the next sticker. The sticker hyphenate halftime. More stickers than listeners. I was thinking, I mean, if I was a smart marketing person, on the back, like if we got like a little QR code, like a stamp with a QR code, and then you could flip it over and you could scan it with your phone and then it'll pop up. But I don't know. I haven't gotten to that part of it all. But then you could just leave them around places and people could get a sticker and then they can get a QR code. It might be something worthwhile.
Yeah.
That might be the next evolution of these things. But then I just don't know if a QR code would work as a stamp. Like, would it get too messed up?
No, I think it would. I don't know. I think you can even get them. I think you can get them printed. I think you can get the backs printed too.
Really?
Maybe we just put the QR code right on the sticker next time. As part of the sticker.
How do you get a QR code? I don't even know how to do this.
Yeah,
more mysteries.
I think you just apply for them. Now they have all sorts of weird artistic QR codes and stuff too. Maybe we can get crazy with it.
The evolution will continue to happen. So, the other thing I was thinking, and we could just talk it out on the air because why not? Maybe people will chime in if they're interested. Is I was thinking going into 2024 of going weekly with the interviews. I think this would be fun. And then maybe when we still, and then I don't know, I think we can still maybe even go weekly on the halftimes if we have the bandwidth to do this. Like maybe the halftimes would be the Mondays and then the interviews would be Thursdays.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always up for it. I'm always up for a good hour conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I feel pretty good about where we're going. I mean, I still have a pretty long list of stuff that's been back cataloged.
Yeah.
So I think if we doubled the pace, we might be all right.
Yeah, let's do it.
Know, we can keep stockpiling them, but I would just be curious to see if that does anything, because I feel like, you know, most podcasts I listen to, it's at least weekly, if not bi-weekly.
Yeah.
I feel like the ones that are every other week, I forget, and I see it. I'm like, why is this here? Why is this popping up?
Yeah.
Do I even like this one?
Yeah, I'm into it. Let's go weekly.
It'd be fun. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, but segments. I'm wondering because if we were to do more of these, would we need more segments?
Oh man,
what could
I haven't even thought about it.
Okay,
I like the just off the cuff conversations.
Yeah, me too. I'm curious if we need some kind of structure, because I do listen to other ones, and they'll just put in these little things like, now we're going to play this game, now we're going to do this thing, now we're going to throw to this thing, and there's something that does kind of keep it moving.
Yeah,
I never know if it's necessary or not. But
would you need bumpers? Would you have like a little little pad? You'd have like a little pad on your side, and we go, pew, pew, pew.
I think we do have something like this in here. I think there is some version of a soundboard, right?
You can make some little soundboard.
Media, yes, I think it does exist. Let's see, does this work
on the Riverside app, or
let's see? Yeah, on the Riverside. Let's see. I wonder if it'll come through.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. And you can upload your own. Okay, this isn't happening. No, it's still loading. Well, of course. That's good. We're figuring it out. Powered by Riverside FM. Let's see if this works. No, none of these things work. Okay. Oh, a drum joke? Why is it spinning? I think so, yeah.
We could just do them live.
Yeah.
And now.
Today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm up for the challenge. I'm up for whatever it could be. It could be fun. Yeah, people could send in their own
sound
things.
effects.
Yeah. Let's have to figure out how to do it. Preview live. Oh, just do it live. Okay, yeah, we'll do it live. Forget it.
We'll do it live. Remember that?
Oh, of course.
What's his name?
Yes.
From Fox News. Just do it live.
To play us out? What is this? To play us out.
To play us out. What are you talking about? Just do it live.
Hey, well, I'll figure it out. But yeah, I think that'd be fun.
Oh my God.
Was that you?
No, that's my cat.
That was a sound effect. There's a sound effect of the cat.
Oh, God. Both of them. I have them locked in the studio right now. They're both driving me crazy.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, yeah. Well, let's wrap it up, and then we'll be back in 2 weeks until we go. I think maybe we'll start in January. We'll start going to weekly.
That sounds awesome.
Super cool. Awesome. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Aaron. I hope you're having a good holiday season at home and not going too crazy with the cats and the dogs and the kids and everyone else.
Cats and
dogs
in
the cradle.
Keep it exciting. Yeah, no, everything's good. Everything's good. Just waiting for the snow up here.
There we go.
It's been very mild.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. All right. We'll talk later.
All right. Thanks, Randy.
See ya.